watching A1V Television.
From our broadcasting house here on Wesley Street in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, this is Plenty News on AYV TV and radio. You're watching us on channel 23, listening to us on frequency modulation 101.7. I am Zulayat Hamid. Let's start with tonight's headlines. Now, Ministry of Info. All right, welcome back. This is Primetime News on AYV TV and radio. My name is Zulayat Hamid. Let's start with tonight's headlines. Now, Ministry of Information and Civic Education holds first Civic Day London edition. Also on Primetime News, residents at Tengbe Town community raise concerns over deplorable culverts expressing fear of tragedy. And we bring you excerpts of tributes from members and party supporters to former chairman of the APC party. Hello and welcome from wherever you're joining me tonight. I am Zulayat Hamid. Now first in the news. In a historic milestone for civic engagement, the government of Sierra Leone, through the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, has successfully staged the first ever Civic Day London edition. According to the minister, Chernoba, this engagement is a step to bring government closer to Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora. The event was led by the Vice President, Mohamed Julde Jallo, who joined senior government officials in engaging citizens on national development, governance, and opportunities for diaspora participation. Let's watch the highlights.
So, each and every one of you, let's put our hands together for this incredible turnout. Thank you for being here. Salon family there, the brother and sister there. As my name is Chernoba, I get the privilege for serving as the Council Minister of Education. Within I have for waiting, we hope will be a rich conversation between the government and UNA and diaspora and the UK. It's one of the most important places Sierra Leone citizens may be outside of Samoa. So much, and are so valuable. We're here because President Leone was there, because they're doing an incentive for I talk to. I said no less a person than the distinguished and outstanding Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, for headline this conversation.
Our government, we come to bring government in the heart of England, the heart of the UK to London, to come engage to show the value we attach to the diaspora community. So we're here today to engage, to talk about the affairs. And in the next couple of days, we are here tomorrow also, and next tomorrow we get a diaspora investment conference. All learning upon leverage the advantage and the opportunity what the diaspora get for continue to shape the destiny of Sierra Leone. Briefly in 10 minutes, first I will start overall as Sierra Leone on the security situation. As of now, the country is reported stable and calm. The last, we don't get two major security incidents. August 10, before 2023, and then also the November 27 incident. Since that time, the country is stable. We don't take a lot of measures, a lot of restructuring in the security architecture. Today, what you know they happen as Leone in the last few events they were sanctioned. You know they happen because today anybody will work in a freedom, anybody will live in the country, comparative to other West African countries, Sierra Leone is relatively safe, secure.
Well, away from London, a giant tree has fallen in Sierra Leone's political forest. Alhaji Minkailu Mansari, the national chairman of the opposition All People's Congress Party, has died. The loss has drawn tributes from across the aisle, which is a rare moment of shared silence in a noisy democracy. AYV's Mohamed Kamara now reports.
In politics, memo is often contested, but in mourning, it becomes shared. Within the APC, the mood is heavy. Many say its death marks the closing of a chapter. Party members gathered at the headquarters in Freetown, their faces swollen with grief, voices low. They have come to say goodbye to a man they called Papa, a father figure whose absence now feels like a library, buried to the ground as the Malian writer Amadou Apate Ba once described death. Banners with his image now hang like frozen time, a reminder that leadership too has an expiring date. Born in Tonkolile district, Minkailu climbed the ladder of his nation from the lecture walls of Robe College to the executive floors of the National Insurance Company. He served as a labor minister, then as the man who held the keys to the country's mineral wealth. In later years, he became the compass of his party, steering the APC through the choppy waters of opposition.
So he served the nation and he served the party. So to me, a big loss not only to the party, but to the nation and to the family as a whole. We as a party, we were amazed with the response of government. Mimi de Senegal, and when we chairman died, I've been there at the hospital. In the twinkle of an eye, I see the ambassador of Canada at the hospital. And the ambassador saying our president says a call and for body. And we don't get total cooperation for the government of Sierra Leone. The body, we expect the body for each year. Tomorrow, Friday, at 4:30. And whilst the body reaches at 4:30, they get a motorcade where they take the body at the Leone government hospital. Outside, the body will sleep. And we will get Quranic recitation, na me post na Longede, where they very close to the hospital. And very early in the morning, we will get a motorcade where they take the body. We pass Port Loco. Outside, we get party faithful for waiting. And on Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning, the body will be laid in state na parliament. And after parliament, we will go for the civic laying out na city council. After that, we go na the burial ground.
That spirit was honored in a rare cross-party gesture. President Julius Maada Bio, Vice President Mohamed Julio Jallo, and First Lady Fatima Bio also sent messages of condolence, a recognition that some trees that cast a shade wide enough to shelter even those on the other side of the fence. The great tree falls so the samplings can find the sun. Mansari spent years nurturing young politicians. Now the canopy is gone, and the test is whether those he mentored can go towards the light.
Kind of person from the 60s, 70s, 80s up to God taking life has been a member of only the APC, and so you can imagine how much this would mean, the kind of pain, the kind of loss we don't get as a party. We're very, very difficult for we, especially at this time. We will need leadership, we will need direction.
To continue legacy.
Continue waiting they don't teach me. We will continue words them. Like some words say we are no say. I will always remember Honorable Minkai before. They left for use the word say we go conscientize. Say when the drums and go down, when the beating and go down. Waiting we go to do online things and the Honorable Minkai will put them in we heart and we mind and we use them things and they for move, go forward and remember Honorable Minkai Mansari.
He was 75, a Muslim, and by all accounts, a man who wore his faith quietly. Like a well-worn clock in keeping with Islamic tradition, his burial came swiftly. Yet the echoes of his life refused to be hurried away.
Waiting the individual, we form a chairman to we, for people that were like we don't bring up in politics, and like how the leader to talk. Anytime you engage with them, you learn a lot of things about life, not just politics. So as people of the party will be close to her, those are things we will miss dearly. And of course, all the things that you don't teach you will remain with me forever.
For as Chino Achebe once echoed through African memory, a man who makes trouble for others is also making it for himself. But equally, a man who builds peace leaves it behind for others. And so, Minkailu's story now joins the long, unfinished book of Sierra Leone's democracy, a reminder that power fades, but impact lives till the apocalypse. Mohamed Bakar Kamara, AYV News.
Well, generally, a footpath should offer safe passage. Now, Tengbe Town community residents say it has become a trap. Broken concrete culverts and damaged slabs now line one of the area's main walks. School children, traders, and the elderly navigate the route with fear. As the rains intensify, residents warn that what appears to be a simple infrastructure problem could become a human tragedy. AYV's intern, Binta Jallo, tells us more.
In every community has its landmarks, its roads, its paths, and its bridges. The importance of each cannot be stated. In Tengbe Town, one of those components is broken and defensive. The concrete slabs that once covered the community's drainage channels are cracked, displayed, and in some places completely gone. Residents say the damaged culverts have become a daily hazard.
So for where the damage, so the more wood is on us, the whole of the alpha, and no pass and then slab ya, the time they would have to see the beginning. So when I keep away, they need to put an place. And so when I put an they need make it rest fine. So when we massa, we'll make it for long. So then slab ya, we find when they pull and they fix and fine, the cement there, so no will cause accidents.
They say school children are amongst the most vulnerable during the rain season. The gutter overflows, brown water swallows the opening breathing. Children returning from school often cannot see the gaps. Some have slipped into the drainages and suffered injuries, others washed away in flood waters.
Already come in the grab because they don't say no. The boy in the country, but how to come up inside the couch power. The couch power, we do what I can. It is Islamic. And it is still picking them. We will begin to come school and the cordon, the tonoball, and the damage. Maybe the last session, I'm picking for the
waters. Residents say the problem wasn't during the community's cleaning exercise. The slabs are removed to clear the gutter, but afterwards, they are often replaced loosely rather than firmly.
What are the way they block? We go make with water can. The flows for that gutter, they above the slab. And the water power, they make the slab, they build, and also higher water inside, they affect you. This one, they affect you between them. We passenger, they burn up the bone. Passenger, we make up about the transportation, they above them. Some get damage from this slab there.
The residents also say water washing down hills during the rain season strike the culverts with great force. The runoff weakens the structure and in some cases wash away entirely. Sierra Leone is among the countries most vulnerable to climate and extremely rainfall. According to the United Nations and the World Bank, poor drainage and inadequate urban infrastructure continues to cause disaster risk.
Now for the government help, like what they go include, they will send the people that will be fix it. Like because now them going for fix and more past the one they will pull out. Then they put for help for clean the gutter. But you know they will fix it. Because what they you know they fasting again like even they original. So for the government they send the people that will be fixer, they go better because they will fix away they will lock.
Where the culvert has broken, iron rods now protrude from the ground like rust spears. Residents say several people have sustained injuries, among them are passengers using commercial bikes. The fear is constant. Residents are now calling on the government and relevant authorities to urgently repair the damage, a fatal one. Binta Jallo, AYV News, Freetown.
Sierra Leone's presidential spokesman says a drift away from famine is fueling public frustration over the cost of living. Alpha Khan told AYV's Wakeup Salon that too many citizens have abandoned agriculture. He urged Sierra Leoneans to focus on personal development and grow their own food rather than relying solely on government support. Let's see.
Backyard plots. Yesterday I was surprised. I went to the manager of Life Care Hospital, Dr. Mohammed El Gabri. He's a doctor. On the veranda of his office, he has a garden, vegetable garden. He gets up from his table chair, waters them. He gets kobokobode, he gets lettuce, he even has passion fruit right there on the third floor of the hospital. So it is how you approach, how you apply yourself. Beyond that, the hospital has a huge farm of 20 acres of vegetables in Lokomasama. They just depend on the salaries they get from their for delivering high life care, health. But you see, you put things in place to make sure that you meet the other things that you want. But what government does, government tries within the limited resources we have in Sierra Leone, we try to share it. And that is what is called economics. The economics means what?
There are several clusters.
The ability to be able to distribute scarce resources to very competing demands. And that is what it is. You have to do that. I haven't seen anybody or anywhere where people feel totally satisfied.
Understandable.
But government, don't forget, in the last 2 years, they have raised salaries for teachers by 25% twice. So that is already a difference. We can see. Even what we call the minimum wage, where it is possible, it has been raised now from about 800 to 1,200,000. It is not enough. But what has government done? Government is now trying to make sure those basic things that we need for that one cook, for that one cook who they cook for 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Rest day, it has gone down from 1 million leones almost to now 650. That is effort. That's progress. The yabas we used to buy at 5,000 and everybody was shouting. We are not growing it. And we are making sure that...
Honorable, it would be nice for us to discuss chronology.
Laws to protect children in Sierra Leone have been developed over the years. However, many children still end up in child labor, either through international exploitation or through circumstances where the child is made to assist with breadwinning despite the violation of their rights. Last week, Sierra Leone joined the rest of the world to observe the International Day Against Child Labor. AYV's Joseph Ado Mambu and Daniel Bob Forby visited a stone mining settlement in the Moiba community in the east end of Freetown. There, they met Dori, a 17-year-old girl who must balance survival with the reality that her rights have been violated. Let's take the highlights.
The sound of hammers striking stones echo across the quarry site. For many, this is a source of livelihood every day. Men and women spend hours breaking rocks under the scorching sun to earn a living. But among the workers are children. Doris is 17. For her, being here is not a choice. It is an effort to support her family and raise money for school-related expenses.
Because I just staying, then I live back here for pay for my school fee. That me not assist the school fee, I did everything. So now I decided to say, well, I can't tell her type me mama.
Doris's mother, Aisha, admits the work is difficult for her child. She says economic hardship forces them to make painful decisions, but feels unavoidable when there is no other way to survive. She herself started stone mining at age 9, and now she is married to a fellow miner. And though business moves slowly, a headpan of the granite can earn about 12 leones, which is a little below $0.5, far from enough to comfortably meet their needs, including school cost.
The money what they save, not enough, but for them no more. They'll be able to give them school fees, they'll be able to take care of them, they'll be able to take care of this day. So I make the day efforts with the front on.
An example of what these children face, working in hazardous environments, and the possibility of losing a finger or even getting injured, and also the shared responsibility of taking care of the family. In the community, child labor is publicly discouraged through bylaws meant to prohibit children from hazardous work. However, community chairman Alex Levy says the reality is that poverty is what keeps pulling families back into the mines.
Get sympathy. Say this way, Papa, they this way. La go de uta. Let me say go de uta for helper. And make it as they see them picking them, and mostly then they would to them, Papa. Not so just because of now poverty, actually. But in meeting Papa, now that's in Papa they do. So instead they assisting Papa for like how they assist their home go look better. Let me make it they see them picking and they do it 2 at times. But some homes and they see back actually in a poverty. Some picking they mama not day. Some picking they can at this story they with somebody for men. So they think and say if that person they who say they that picking they not join them for go help them for their work then they. So my not go pay for thing for you not go they.
Child rights advocates warn that quarry work exposes children to serious dangers, including injuries, dust-related illnesses, and disruption to education. Deputy Director of Children's Affairs at the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, Daniel Albert Bawo, says government and partners continue multi-sector campaigns and community sensitization promoting positive parenting and child protection.
Yes, we work with Ministry of Labour. There is this labor law that protects children from all forms of child labor. So, that is why we have these multi-sectoral coordination meetings to actually tell Ministry of Labour and also the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs. We go into vulnerable communities, we sensitize them, more especially families, on positive parenting. Because of poor parenting, that is why most parents abuse their children. We are making concerted efforts with Ministry of Labour to address child labor issues. And that is why also we have this national strategy for addressing children in street situations, because most of these children living in street are victims of child labor. Yes, they are being abused by adults. So that is why we advocate to parents, to families, in communities, community stakeholders, to support their children to go to school rather than fetching water whole day, rather than working in the quarry, rather than going to the street to sell. These are all some of the issues that affect us. Because most times it is the community themselves. The parents, poor parenting is as a result of that. So we advocate.
Sierra Leone's labor laws prohibit children from engaging in hazardous work, including quarrying activities that threaten their health, safety, and development. Many children remain trapped between the demands of survival today and the promises of a better future tomorrow. Joseph Adomambu, AYV News, Freetown.
Many thanks to Joseph Adomambu for putting that report together. Now, moving on, education is often called the greatest equalizer. For the government of Sierra Leone, it is also a national promise. Since the launch of the Free Quality School Education Initiative in 2018, millions of children have entered classrooms that were once beyond their reach. but access has brought new pressures. Many schools and universities are struggling with overcrowded classrooms and inadequate furniture. It is hoped that a new partnership between the government of Sierra Leone and the People's Republic of China and the United Nations Development Programme bridge that gap in furniture inadequacy. Our regional correspondent, Sam Alfa-Lahai, reports from Kenema.
A classroom is more than 4 walls. It is where dreams are given a desk and ambition finds a seat. But across Sierra Leone, many schools and higher institutions have long wrestled with overcrowding and shortages of furniture. The government's Free Quality School Education Initiative, launched in August 2018, removed tuition barriers and opened the doors of learning to millions of children. To address these pressures, China has financed the production of furniture for schools, TV centers, and tertiary institutions under the project Improve Educational Service Facilities for Youth in Sierra Leone. At the Eastern Technical University in Kenema, beneficiary institutions from across the region gathered to receive the new furniture. The handover brought together officials from the Ministries of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Technical and Higher Education, the United Nations Development Programme, and representatives of the Chinese government.
If you are a child who has had to sit on the floor, those who have sat under trees, you will know that this investment is not just a chair or a table, because a desk creates a place to concentrate.
Since 2018, Sierra Leone's education sector has been administered through 2 ministries with the aim of improving efficiency and strengthening learning outcomes.
As we all know, a conducive learning environment is essential for quality education.
It's really an incentive to be self-motivated to want to go to school, creating a conducive environment.
For many students, these are more than pieces of furniture. They are symbols of dignity, because every child deserves not only a place in school, but also a seat from which he or she sees the future.
China has made sustained efforts to support the education sector and talent development in Sierra Leone. We have consistently provided China government scholarship and MOFCOM scholarship.
I want to appreciate this gift very much and thank the UNDP and the People's Republic of China and also the government of Sierra Leone for providing us these gifts.
China has become one of Sierra Leone's key partners in education, supporting the country through scholarships, infrastructure projects, technical training, and institutional partnerships. Under the latest initiative, a $2 million project, we provide more than 14,700 desks and chairs to schools, TV centers, and higher institutions across the country. Sam Alfa-Lahai, AYV News, Kenema, Eastern Sierra Leone.
39% of the global population, 2.9 billion people, had safe sanitation in 2015, but 2.3 billion people still lacked basic sanitation. This is according to Goal 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals on clean water and sanitation. And a figure of 892 million people practice open defecation. Hence, addressing long-standing challenges on hygiene for pupils and residents at Laka community in the western peninsula of Freetown, 3 schools have benefited with 2 water tanks and standing taps, which was facilitated by the Laka Village Committee together with their partners.
For many in Freetown, the sight of water gushing out of a tap is a distant dream. Access to clean drinking water is a luxury many cannot afford. Urbanization rendered the Goma Valley Water Company crippled, which was originally built for 5,000 people, now struggle to supply over 8.5 million people.
Find out that we have toilets, we don't have drinking water for the pupils as well as the teachers as well. So we find out that we normally send them to go and fetch water from the borehole. And that one we cannot drink it because it is not properly taken care of. So that has been a challenge for us as a school. To believe with this standing tap and the water tank, they will go a long way in bringing clean water and help improve the learning facility of the pupils. And also this will make sure that the challenges we have been having, sending pupils to go and fetch water when they come to school late, will be things of the past.
Uneasy lies the head that bears the crown. The headman of Laka village, Peter Davis, painted a picture on how people have grappled with insufficient water supply before help finally came wrapped in a gift bag called charity donation.
So water na life. So that in the engineer we for let people know say we symbol na water. So that make we they see say people in the stream for water na the school we come and install water for them through the donor of Dado Anta when are the consulate for Mexico inside Sierra Leone. So now with that tankery that 3,000 liters. Where I explained to them, say we don't draw a tap, but we need water for reserve for the school picking them. You know, normally how the teachers them in the pay or the head teachers them in the pay 50,000 for day for get water for use na the school, each schools. So if you calculate down for the month, about money that one day.
Hundreds of residents at Laka being gifted with what many now considers a luxury is more satisfying than listening to birds sing in the Amazon rainforest. In outpouring eulogies, the village chatted their happiness for the gesture even the kids could hold back.
The challenge is picking they get for water. One, okay, like we don't try for dig water well, but on the snowball, like we know they. So any time we try dig na stone, so water not be there. The picking they get. If we pump a lock, pass and go na water well. And at times the water well can dry. Water they dey for even for drink, especially when the dry season time they reach. The water they dirty, so they get clean water.
Well, the problem, like we dey tell we demand thank you for this tap we can make, because really the student them dey stream for water. And now the south side will get the water, that water don't pure for them. And now water they will look, now water they run for come now the well. So now if the demand don't come, don't make them kind here for them. Well, we tell them thank you for that.
Several communities, particularly in Western Freetown, often report acute difficulties accessing clean water, with some residents saying the gallon sells for as much as 6 to 10 leones per jerrycan and is often still hard to obtain. But the government says efforts are underway to address long-standing challenges in the sector.
This is Primetime News on AYV TV and radio. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
I run a small logistics company. Every cent counts. I didn't think I needed a fuel card until I got the Cornex fuel card. Now, I track exactly how much fuel my fleet uses, in real time. And when my wife or kids need fuel, no cash, no stress. It's safe, accepted nationwide, and I control how much goes on each card. At the end of the month, I see the savings, real savings. Cornex fuel card. I didn't know I needed it. Now, I can't run my business or family without it. Fuel smart. Live smart. Visit any Cornex filling station to sign off, or any Cornex office to get your card. Across Sierra Leone, more people are asking the same question. Why buy fuel anywhere else when Cornex gives you more? Professionally trained attendants who know service matters. Conex Fuel. A litre is a litre, every single time. And when it's time to pay, easy. Pay with mobile money, Visa or MasterCard, or the Conex Fuel card. Clean restrooms, welcoming spaces. Every station, every time. Clean fuel, clean spaces, clear value. That's why Sierra Leone fuels with Conex. Conex retail outlets. Always clean, always professional, always for you. Fuel smart. Visit any of our Conex stations nationwide for your quality fuel and lubricants today.
Welcome back. I am Zulayatu Hamid and this is AYV's Primetime News. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's take more stories. Water is life, but for millions of African children, safe water remains a daily struggle. UNICEF says across Africa, around 190 million children lack safe drinking water. 240 million do not have safely managed sanitation, and 160 million have no basic hygiene services. This week, Sierra Leone joined the continent in calling for urgent action on water, sanitation and hygiene, commonly known as WASH. The conversation, however, did not end inside the conference hall. Our lens moved beyond speeches and statistics to examine the reality facing children in Sierra Leone. Joseph Mambu has the story.
Inside the hall, there were cautious optimism. Officials spoke of progress as they normally do. Recent national data shows that more than 62% of Sierra Leoneans now have access to basic water services, up from previous years. But the figures also reveal a stubborn truth. Only 13.6% of the population has access to basic sanitation services, and barely 11.6% of households have basic hygiene facilities. Nearly 1 in 4 Sierra Leoneans still practice open defecation. For children, these are not abstract numbers, they are daily realities. The consequences are profound. UNICEF says poor water and sanitation contributes to waterborne diseases, malnutrition and school absenteeism. Globally, unsafe water, sanitation and hygiene are linked to hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths every year. For children, dirty water often steals more than health. It steals classroom hours, potentials, and sometimes it steals life itself.
Progress has been made, important gaps remain. In rural areas, access to basic drinking water has improved. It's gone from 34% in 2010 to more than 50% in 2022. But in urban areas, access is now close to 80%. Yet, too many children are still left behind. In rural areas, only 15% of households have basic hand washing facilities.
Across Sierra Leone and our continent, millions of children still miss school because there is no water in their communities. They fall ill for preventable diseases because safe sanitation remains a luxury. Girls especially lose days of education each month for lack of private clean facilities.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs acknowledged a painful paradox. Sierra Leone is blessed with rivers, rainfall, and abundant water resources, yet many children still struggle to find safe water and decent sanitation. Rapid population growth, urbanization, climate change, and environmental degradation also are placing increasing pressure on water services.
The objectives of this year's commemoration are clear: to mobilize stronger political commitments and greater investments in child-responsive WASH projects, to strengthen the integration of WASH into health, education, nutrition, social protection, and climate adaptation policies, to promote inclusion by ensuring that girls, children with disabilities, and children living in vulnerable communities have equitable access to services, to strengthen from all stakeholders and to raise awareness that access to water, sanitation, and hygiene is a fundamental right of every child.
Outside the conference hall, the statistics found human faces. At the DT Akibobet School in central Freetown, access to basic sanitation remains a challenge. Teachers and pupils demonstrated the difficulties of maintaining hygiene facilities. A school located close to some of the country's major institutions still wrestles with services many would consider fundamental. Senior teacher Saidu Sise says progress has been made, but many more remains to be done, particularly in rural communities.
There are more challenges, in fact, more than what you've just mentioned, because if we being closer to authorities, you understand, where I believe they access water every minute or every hour they want it, you understand. If we be neighbors to them, then we are still struggling for water. I think it must be worse in the other areas. That's one for sure. I will not hesitate to say to mention that. It's still poor. Sanitation is poor because sanitation can be done purely without the access of water, the access of clean water. So I think it is still poor.
As the African proverb says, a river that forgets its source will soon run dry. For Sierra Leone, the source is its children, their health, their dignity, their future. The message from both the conference hall and the classroom is clear. Water is not a privilege. Sanitation is not a luxury. Neither is hygiene secondary. They are the fundamentals upon which children survive, learn, and thrive. Joseph Adumambu, AYV News, Freetown.
And now for court update. The state versus Abubakar Jallo, the grandfather of Mustafa Kanu, that is facing 2-count charge in Sierra Leone High Court, makes another appearance today. Abubakar Jallo is accused of causing grievous bodily harm with intent and child torture. Let's have the outcome of today's High Court proceedings from Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo.
Abubakar Jallo, father of Hassanatu Jallo and grandfather of Mustafa Kanu, made another appearance before Justice Simeon Aliyu at High Court Number 5. The defendants pleaded guilty to count 1, which relates to causing grievous bodily harm with intent, contrary to Section 18 of the Offences Against the Persons Act 1861. However, he pleaded not guilty to count 2, which alleges child torture, contrary to Section 18 of the Child Rights Act 2025. State Prosecutor Yusuf Isaac Sase informed the court that the prosecution will not be pursuing evidence on the second count and urged the court to proceed accordingly. He also gave a detailed narration of the circumstances surrounding the alleged incident, which briefly left the courtroom subdued. In his submission, he urged the court to consider a moral reflection, referring to the popular literary book Things Fall Apart. In response, Justice Simeon Aliyu inquired whether the defendant had legal representation, to which he answered in the negative. The judge, however, allowed the defendant an opportunity to present his side of the case by adjourning the matter to the 19th June 2026 for further hearing and sentencing. The case continues.
The state versus Yebu Zainab Sharif, convicted for incitement and threatening language, takes another step. Yebu Zainab Sharif was found guilty of both offenses and was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months imprisonment on the 14th of April 2026. In recent days, Yebu Zainab Sharif, counsel Roland Wright and M. Jallo filed for an appeal. However, the State Council 1 Tholi also filed a notice of non-compliance dated the 9th of June 2026, stating the application failed to comply with Rule 3 subsection 1 of the Appeal for Magistrate Court Rule 1969, public notice number 25 of 1969, and is therefore seeking the court to order the application's notice of the appeal be dismissed. Let's hear from our court reporter, Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo, as he gives us details in today's court appeal proceeding.
In today's Court of Appeal proceedings, Yebu Zainab Sharif, who is facing 4-year and 2-month sentence for incitement and threatening language, faced a procedural challenge as her appeal came up for consideration. The matter was presided over by Justice Mark Gegba. Counsel for the respondent, I. Foley, raised a preliminary objection seeking to have the appeal struck out. He urged that the notice of appeal was incompetent for failing to comply with Rule 3, Sub-Rule 1 of the Court of Appeal rules, as it did not clearly state the substance of the judgment being appealed. He further contended that this omission amounted to a breach of mandatory procedural requirements, citing from 1 of the appendix and Rule 8 Sub-Rule 2, and urged the court to dismiss the appeal for non-compliance. However, counsel for the applicant, Roland Wright, opposed the objection, describing it as a premature and legally unfounded. He argued that the appeal complied with the law and that no procedural conditions had yet been set by the court to warrant such an objection. After hearing both sides, Justice Magegba directed the master and the registrar to provide certified copies of the magistrate's judgment dated 14 April 2026. He further ordered that both parties file their appeal documents in a prescribed format upon receipt of the record, and adjourned the matter to the 2nd of July 2026, stating that the appeal will be determined based solely on the evidence already presented before the magistrate, with no additional witnesses to be called. The case continues.
And now in the latest in sports, Mighty Blackpool Football Club have paid a courtesy call on their chief sponsor, Wakeup Commercial Bank, as one of their lead partner of protecting and projecting the club's trajectory in Sierra Leone. Unveiling their new home kits, the Titans boys have extended a formal invitation to the bank ahead of their highly anticipated Orange FA Cup clash against Eastern Lions, slated for Saturday the 20th June 2026 at the Southern Arena in Bo. Sir Solomon Yomba reports.
Club chairman, team manager, players and other stakeholders visited the headquarters of Wakeup Commercial Bank to unveil their new home jersey ahead of the growing and fiercely contested Orange FA Cup encounter against local rivals Eastern Lions Football Club at the Southern Arena in Bo on 20th June 2026. Club chairman Rodney Michael used the occasion to express heartfelt appreciation to the bank for their unwavering financial backing, while urging officials and staff to turn out in force and help drive the team to victory.
So once again, thank you very much for being at our summit for nearly 4 years now. When we did right at the bottom of the struggle for every survival, we now come on board and you know, patiently waited to and hope for in this week to the pinnacle of football in Sierra Leone. Today we come for training and say the Blackpool in the status is a much better outfit today. And not only we don't improve with league status and performances, coming this Saturday, the 20th of June, we come officially for a formula and also for inviting the marketing team and media and the communication that on Saturday, the 20th of June, the Mighty Blackpool Football Club will play in the finals of the Orange FA Cup finals in Bo against the arch rivals the Lions Football Club, and we expect as sponsors from CAN in huge numbers. And by the power of God and the effort and the support, we will come with the trophy and celebrate after 20 years the first title that win of any competition in this country.
Receiving the delegation, On behalf of the MD for Wakeup Commercial Bank, Adikali S. Kamara, Director of Operations and Treasury at Wakeup Commercial Bank, wish the club success in the upcoming fixture and reaffirm the bank's commitment to promoting football, and Blackpool will not be an exception to it.
Blackpool, I think, a household name in football in Sierra Leone. I don't do a lot of work for bring this team, for upgrade the team to the level we're on. So we're happy that when I don't reach to the finals, we'll go play the Eastern Lions. I'm not Eastern Lions anyway, but I hope and pray that God will make it possible for when I win the cup. You know.
Well, that's all for Primetime News for tonight. For more stories, visit our website at www.ayvnews.com. If you have any comments on the news, please send us an email to info@ayvnews.com. I am Zulaya Hamid. Many thanks for watching and listening. Good night.